Anticipation is bubbling away ahead of Sunday's UFC 305 main event between Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya. Now, the fight will determine who walks away with the coveted middleweight title. To help us preview the fight, we've roped in MMA Fighter and coach, and she goes by the name Shana Titanium Power. Adrienne, a good morning to you, Shana. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Shana, I want to start our discussion by just speaking to the different fighting styles that we see between these two fighters, Dricus as well as Israel. Perhaps if you can just highlight it more for our viewers at home in terms of what those main differences are in how they approach a fight.
So Adesanya is a kickboxing specialist. He's a stand-up fighter primarily. He's got incredible striking, where Dricus is more well-rounded. Dricus has incredible wrestling, incredible jiu-jitsu, and his striking we've seen. He's got incredible knockout power as well. So the difference is that we haven't seen much of Adesanya's ground game, but Dricus, we've seen that he's got a lot of submissions. He managed to take down, he achieves a few takedowns in his fights. So yeah, that's the primarily big difference between the two fighters.
And when we look at how both fighters are going to be approaching this, they always say that it is crucial to win those big moments and even those small moments in sports. And a lot of people are saying, when you look at Dricus as well as his career, one would say it's sunrise now because he's on that upward trajectory, whereas for Israel, it seems to be his sunset almost at the end of the prime of his career. Would you say this is a fair assessment?
Look, Adesanya is 35 years old. I mean, he is in the later part of his career, but there hasn't been any indication of Adesanya slowing down at any point. Where Dricus is 30, he is definitely in his prime. He's up and coming. He's hungry. He's got a lot to prove. He wants to be one of the greatest fighters in the world. That's his mindset. So I wouldn't write off Adesanya. I still believe he's got quite a few fights left in him, but I think that's determined by how this fight goes with Dricus. You know, if he loses this fight, we're not sure what we're going to see, you know, with Adesanya. So I don't think it's a wrong assessment, but I don't think we can just write him off just yet. You know, I think this fight is a big fight for him in his career, and he wants to cement his legacy and, you know, maintain his trajectory of being a great fighter too. So yeah, I think age is a big part of this. They're both in their prime, but yeah, Dricus is definitely, he's got a lot. His career is just starting, in my opinion.
And many say that in his prime, Adesanya could flatline almost any opponent. Do you think that he could be able to find this edge on Sunday?
Adesanya in fighting Dricus?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel that Adesanya is a little bit, I think Dricus has got in his head. And that's my opinion. It's not factual. So, you know, it depends what kind of Adesanya arrives on Saturday when they fight. But yeah, I don't know if he can flatline Dricus. He's a lot more technical than Dricus. You know, we've seen Dricus's knockout power. So, you know, on the ground, this fight is definitely a 50-50. So I don't know if Adesanya is going to have the edge on Dricus, you know, to be honest. So yeah, this fight, I think a lot of people that are trying to view or give their opinion, they can't really be 100% sure, saying like, oh, Dricus has got this in the bag or Adesanya has got this in the bag. It really depends who shows up on the day. But like I said, I believe Dricus has got under Adesanya's skin. And I think Adesanya is being a little bit more emotional than Dricus. Dricus is cool, calm and collected. He definitely wins the fight a lot before, or more so before he steps into the cage. So this is really going to be interesting for all. And this is what makes fights, is that no one can really be 100% certain. So it's really, really exciting.
Indeed, and as I wrap up with you, Shana, perhaps just touch a little bit on the talk that we've been hearing from both camps just building up to this fight. I mean, a lot has been said. We've seen a lot of animosity. We've seen Israel saying Dricus likes to undermine other people. Dricus saying, well, I said what I said. It's up to whoever wants to interpret it any differently. How much do you think this is going to affect the two men going out on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, if you watch a lot of interviews with Dricus, I think there is a personal on a personal level, they don't like each other, but you know, it's business at the end of the day. And like I said, it just depends who can stay calm and keep the emotions out of it and can do the job. You know, fighters, it is their job. So I know that this is what makes fights, and this is again what the excitement is that there's been a lot of talk leading up to this fight. There's a lot of animosity. This is really stamping who is the greatest fighter in the middleweight division. And that is what, you know, everyone's going to be drawn around the TVs. But from my side, obviously, we're backing our boy Dricus. And yeah, we just wish him the best of luck. And hopefully he brings that middleweight title back home.
Oh, we are all crossing fingers that he will. Shana, thank you so much for your time this morning.
No problem.
All right, that is Shana, Titanium Power Adrienne, MMA fighter, as well as coach, talking all things about that middleweight title fight on Sunday between Dricus as well as Ezra. And she says, of course, the rest of South Africa behind Dricus du Plessis.